Hey everyone! So today we're going to be doing Rahu in the 10th house. And what happens when you have Rahu sitting in the 10th house in your birth chart? Let's get started. So what is 10th house? 10th house is basically the house of your career, house of your public image, house of how much authority you will have out in the world. Okay, so some people have high authority, some people have low authority, some people have no authority, and that is seen from the 10th house. 10th house shows what exactly you're here to do, So Rahu actually does very well in this house. It is probably one of the best positions, I think, for Rahu to be in, even more than the 11th house, because Rahu does excellent in 3, 6, 10, and 11 houses. So when Rahu comes here, Rahu is that planet that wants to achieve authority over everybody the quickest way possible. And it also is willing to work very hard for it in certain houses, especially the Upachya houses. And Rahu is that malefic planet that will lie, cheat, deceive on its way to success. It will do whatever it can to find success, material success, financial success, whatever success it wants, whatever type of success is out there, they want it, And so Rahu is really not necessarily gives results according to signs, more so according to houses. The house really makes Rahu do what it does most of the time. Signs only gives it a personality, but house gives it the push, the go ahead to do whatever it wants to. So in 10th house, it wants to achieve that authority. That means your presidents, generals, you prime ministers of countries can have this placement, because this is pretty much even more powerful than having Sun in the 10th house. Because first of all, Rahu amplifies everything more than Jupiter and quicker than Jupiter. If Jupiter does expansion slowly but surely, Rahu blows up like an atomic bomb and gives a sudden success to a person. Like it just wants to go there. So these people will do whatever it takes to be successful, and they will become successful. This is actually one of the key points in a person's life, having this alignment that they will become successful. Even if the sun is weak in their second part of life, they will become successful. Okay, and 10th house is a house of your father. So what happens is, in battling for success, in battling for that authority position, these people get into fights with their father. They get into arguments with their father. They get into differences with their father. Why is that? Because again, 4th house is a house of mother. Directly opposite to it is a house of father, 10th house. 10th house is authority. Who was the authority in your family? The father. And Rahu wants to go against it. It itself wants to be that fatherly figure, wants to be that authority. So after a certain age, this person starts to answer back to his father, starts to question his father, and they kind of get into a bickering. The relationship with the father, may not improve until after the age of 32, if there are bad relationships. There also could be like ill health to the father as well, especially during its Mahadasha or Antradasha. Dashas are pretty much time periods that you get in your life. And remember, Rahu is still a malefic planet. So that means that being a politician is a greatest achievement for Rahu, because who is a politician? First of all, what is politics? Politics is who gets what, where, when, and how much. And Rahu loves to be in control of that. Who gets what, where, when, and how much. And so this is why when people have Rahu in the 10th house, they will be the most clever people to get to where they want in a higher ranking by deceiving other people, by cheating other people, by being the most manipulative person out there. What I'm trying to say is that it takes a very clever genius to do what they want in a position of authority. So clever can also be good in opposite to bad. So a clever person may actually manipulate a bad person to go around him and do what he wants. And this is why, Rahu can act good in a clever way, or it can act bad in a clever way where he cheats an innocent person and gets to where it wants to. But the authority is there. Rahu becomes the king in its department, in its line of career, in its field. It wants to become ahead of something. So usually people with this placement become heads of their company, their line, presidents, prime minister, government figures, because 10th house represents government. So Rahu in 10th house becomes a very, very powerful planet, you know. So in this position, you know, Rahu also becomes kind of poetic. It loves the drama of life. It loves to be in the center of attention of life. That means you can see brilliant actors, performance artists with this position. And here's also another thing about Rahu. Whenever Rahu aspects the 10th house or is in a 10th house, the way you get success in life or authority in life is you have to make an impact on people. Meaning that wherever you go, whatever you do, you have to make people say wow. And only then Rahu will activate its power and help you achieve something. Kind of like a magician. Magicians are seen with the Rahu in the 10th house. But because of the fact Rahu is an illusion, it is smoke, it makes people see things that are not there. So if you are trying to sell a computer, you're a computer salesman with Rahu in the 10th house, you have to be so charismatic and say something so profound that'll be like, wow. Like, you know, if your little dinky computer that you're selling is not able to do 3D animation, yet you tell them in a way that you can definitely do 3D animation and this will work perfectly, this will have this and this, and I've done this myself, that will make an impact that, wow, he's actually done it himself. He has made 3D animation through a very, you know, bad and shitty computer. And so this is how then they gain success and power. So yeah, it's in a way, it's kind of like, you know, swindling people, but it's more so just making an impact. Any way you can have people say wow to you and your product or whatever you're doing, only that will help you. So this is why acting is like, people like, wow, he can act. I love his movie. I love her movies. And so this is why they're able to, you know, excel in their position only when they make an impact. Rahu's aspect in the second house can definitely make the speech a bit malefic, meaning that they could lie, obviously, because Rahu is a liar. And so his aspect in the second house of speech and throat can, you know, but not as a strong of an impact of a liar, maybe not a pathological liar, but he will develop stories in order to gain authority. Okay, and family and the relationship with the family might also be distant. Like they may have to travel a lot. They may be so busy in their work life that they're kind of away from the family, because Rahu is about exotic and foreign things as well. So its aspect on family can take them away from the family and into foreign lands as well. Rahu aspect the fourth house, so disturbance in the fourth house, it'll bring success in the professional life, but in the fourth house there might be a lot of dullness there as well if there's no other impact of another planet like Jupiter or Venus. Okay, Rahu also sees the sixth house of enemies. So obviously from the 10th house, Rahu is able to destroy its enemies, because its ninth aspect is on the sixth house of diseases and enemies and litigation. So this was my analysis with Rahu in the 10th house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe above, because I'm going to be covering all the planets and signs in houses of your birth chart. And if you want to know more about astrology, check out the link below. Check out my articles there, my book, Astrology, the Speed of Light. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.